England's Patient Safety Commissioner is demanding answers from Number 10 over avoidable harm compensation. That's compensation for people who've been victims of recent medical scandals.
Now, one of those scandals was the many women who had vaginal mesh implants between 1998 and 2020, and also the women who were given sodium valproate during pregnancy in the 70s, which was found to cause defects in their babies.
A report from Patient Safety Commissioner for England, Professor Henrietta Hughes, called for a two-stage redress scheme for patients affected, calculated to cost £500 million just for the initial payments. Delighted to say that she joins us now. Professor Hughes, thanks so much for joining us. Just remind us when you made this recommendation and exactly what you were recommending in it.
Well, this is a health scandal of epic proportions, which has been going back for decades, as you said, and has affected tens of thousands of patients and families. I published a report after I was asked to give advice to ministers, not on whether redress should be paid, but on how it should be paid. I published it in February 2024, and I still haven't received a response. I think the government need to take responsibility for this and provide justice right now.
Can I ask you a wider question? Because look, we're looking at images of vaginal mesh on our screens now, and it feels to me like this is kind of linked in with the number of women who are dying in birth, growing up. Why are we so bad at looking after women who are giving birth and, I guess, acting, as we should when things go wrong?
Well, many women have come to me saying that they haven't been listened to when it comes to their care, that they weren't given the right information to make the right decisions about their care, and when they had concerns, that those concerns fell on deaf ears, either with their clinicians, but also with officials, with regulators, and with politicians themselves. And I see this as part of a wider malaise that very much goes back for decades. As you said, that valproate was used from the 1970s. And at that time, a letter was sent to all doctors to warn them of the harms of valproate, but it expressly said, don't tell the patients. This is a culture that I think we need to move away from. And I think it's really important that the government takes responsibility for harms that have happened, not necessarily just under their watch, but under governments of every stripe going back decades. I think women deserve better care. They deserve to be listened to, and they also deserve to be taken seriously when they raise concerns.
Can I just double check what you said? I mean, I know that sometimes the government will drag its feet on when they'll pay things out or exactly how much they'll pay things out. They haven't even responded at all to your report.
I haven't had a substantive response, even though I was asked to do this report by the government. And so I used my special powers to request information. When I wrote to the Department of Health and Social Care last year, I wanted to know what briefings had been given to ministers, what meetings had been had, and to get an understanding of a timetable for financial redress. But I was told that the financial part of the redress scheme that I set out was not in their jurisdiction. So I wrote to the Prime Minister in March asking for more information. But when I never got a response again, I've had to use my special powers again for a second time, and I'm waiting for a response from Number 10. I want to know what letters have been exchanged between ministers, what timetable has been set out, because for the patients and families, their concerns and their harm does not get put on hold just because they're waiting for the government to make up its mind. And I think that this is another example of patients not being listened to, being fobbed off, and decisions really being kicked into the long grass.
Professor Henrietta Hughes, a very powerful call there. I thought, thank you very much for being on the programme this morning.
Thank you.
Now, of course, the heatwave may have passed for now, although we are expecting another 5-day scorcher next month. So